Okay, so I'm gonna give you a step-by-step guide how to do this, but before that, I wanna point out something even more important. Something even more important than some step-by-step guide on how to stop eating junk food. Do you know what is it? It's your identity. It's how you view yourself. Of course you're gonna eat junk food when you think of yourself as a fat person, as an ugly person, as an unhealthy person. And bro, like I didn't have a cheat meal for over 2 years. Do you know how I was able to do that? Do you know how I was able to not have like a cheat day or whatever in 2 years? Do you know how? It's by having an identity of a person who just doesn't eat junk food, who just doesn't eat shit food. And now, of course, you don't have to be as extreme as I am, because like the health benefits are minimal. But I'm doing it for my identity. I'm doing it because eating junk food, eating something bad, would threaten my identity and who I am. It would literally threaten whatever, me as a person, and I don't want it. I can't imagine myself eating Nutella or some chocolate, some bullshit. Like, I literally can't imagine that. And I can't even imagine eating junk food or eating something bad in front of my parents, because they know that I'm on this super healthy diet and that I really focus on not eating any junk food, any shit food. And I'm really disciplined with my diet. Thereby, they don't even buy me anything, not any cookies or any, I don't McDonald's, whatever, because they know that I just don't eat it. And if my parents or my family saw me eat junk food, that would kill a part of me that they thought I am. You know, like, so for me, it would be way, way harder to eat something bad rather than to not eat it. By the way, this is not really even willpower or discipline. This is just me, that it's a part of who I am. Like, you know, it's like for you, you speak a certain language. You speak a language and you just speak like that. Like, I speak English. I don't eat junk food. It's this automatic thing. It's not that I'm trying to quit junk food. No, I'm a person who just doesn't eat it. Like, even if you try it, you just can't put it into my mouth. It just doesn't exist, bro. For me, having a junk food is like speaking Mandarin, speaking Chinese, whatever. I can't do that. I just cannot. I physically can't. And there's the same thing as with eating junk food. But first off, that's not gonna be easy, and you won't be able to do this overnight, to just decide, oh, I actually don't eat junk food. I mean, just won't. So in order to first even build the identity of a person who doesn't eat junk food, you need to not eat the junk food in the first place, which is gonna be difficult for you, because it's tasty, it tastes great, amazing, and it comforts you. So bro, like, first off, don't have any cheat days. Like, bro, we are in 2026. You still want to eat cheat meals, cheat days? Like, come on, bro. Of course that when you, let's say, go on a vacation, that's something a little bit different, and there you can have a cheat meal, or when it's Christmas or some holiday, whatever, of course. But when you plan to have a cheat meal every week, like every Sunday you have a cheat day, like, what the fuck, bro? You literally plan to downplay on yourself. So it's like you go up, then you go a bit down, and then up. Whereas if you have no cheat meals, you could just go up. Like, why won't you just go this route instead of this route? The fuck, bro? You know, like, and it's also like you cannot build an identity doing this, that you're just a person who doesn't have any cheat days, because you don't have them. Because now it's a part of you that you don't have cheat meals. Because you don't have cheat meals because you don't plan to eat shit food every single week. And now you can say, like, why to go this extreme? And honestly, you don't have to. You don't have to go this extreme. But for me, from a person who is coming from the bottoms of the bottoms, from rock bottom, like, you know, I was down bad, I needed every single small advantage I could get. And, you know, like, I just became so obsessed with self-improvement and with improving my life. And, like, there's nothing inherently bad with not eating shit foods. Like you won't miss out on much. And also, like, that kid I once was just knew that he doesn't want to be in the position where he is right now, and he's willing to do everything he can, everything that's in his power to become the best and to be as best as possible. So that's why I went this extreme. Of course, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to, but it's like, but it's like when it becomes a part of your identity, then you'll honestly never struggle with eating junk food ever again, because now it's part of you. And that's what you hopefully want, right? To build an identity of a person who just doesn't eat this stuff at all. And bro, do you know what is a thing that held me accountable and that made me not have a cheat meal in the first couple of months? It's basically like some form of accountability partner. For me, it was my parents, because I can't imagine my parents seeing me eating junk food. Like, I just can't imagine that. That's why it's so difficult for me to eat junk food in front of them. And you know, like, sure, I could eat junk food in my room alone, but I'm not gonna do that. What the fuck? I'm not some monkey, whatever. So like, you just want to make sure that people around you don't see you like that loser guy. When everyone around you knows that you're not eating any junk food, it would be quite a shock for them to see that you do. So that's the part of you that just says, like, fuck me, bro. Like, I don't want to eat junk food. I don't want to fail, because that would threaten the part of me they think I am. But of course, like I said, this is gonna take time. And the goal you should have is to not just stop eating junk food, but to replace it with healthy foods. That's what we want, right? So just understand it's gonna take some time. It took me like a year or so to find my diet, to find the foods that are healthy for me and that I have no problem with eating in the long term. Because, like, you know, it just takes time to go from person A who eats junk food every single day to person B who eats no junk food at all. It's just gonna take time. For me, it took me like 1 year, 1.5 years, whatever. So just expect that it's gonna take time. But of course, you ideally want to get to a point where you eat no junk food, you have zero junk food. So right now we're gonna go to the step-by-step guide. So to build that identity, you first need to expose yourself to junk food as little as possible. Of course, because right now you are struggling with it. You struggle with eating junk food. So of course that exposing yourself to it is gonna make you eat more junk food. I did this before I started self-improvement. Is that I just stopped buying that shit. I just stopped going to grocery stores for eating some like chips or bonbons, whatever bullshit. Bro, like, tell me, are you gonna go to a store just to buy chips, just to buy some candies, whatever? You're probably not gonna do that. Or at least I didn't. And there are two things I wanna say. Like, when you let's say go to a grocery store and you just have to buy something, well, then make sure that you don't want a junk food. And there are studies that are proving what I'm about to say. The more hungry you are, the bigger the likelihood of you buying some junk food and then eating it. Because of course that when you're hungry, your body basically wants to eat that unhealthy junk food that has a lot of calories to make sure that you have fat and to make sure that you survive, you know, because, like, you know, our brains are still kind of primal when I don't know, we're hungry, whatever. There are just studies that prove that when you go shopping and you're hungry, you end up buying more shit, more food, more junk food. So, like, the step one, when you go to the grocery store, make sure you're not hungry. Or when you are, you deliberately say to yourself before going there that you will not buy any junk food. And when it's clear in your mind, know that I'm probably not going to buy junk food. When it's clear, when it's crystal clear in your mind that no, I won't buy any junk food. I'm here to, I don't know, buy some bananas, whatever. So I won't buy anything other than that. And then the second thing is to imagine what you can do with the money instead. Because for me, bro, I was like 12 years old. I was broke as fuck. So of course that even $2 had value for me. Now, if you're working a full-time job, that's gonna be a little bit different for you. But for me, I was super broke. So even $2 was significant for me. So I just imagined like some shit that I could buy with that money. For example, my program. I'm just kidding. And when you imagine what you can buy with the money instead, that would make me more motivated to not buy it, because I can spend it on something else. Because I was super broke, right? I couldn't afford most stuff because of how broke I was. And the step two is to have a reason behind it. Because sure, like, you don't buy it, but people around you still buy it and still have it. Thereby, it's gonna be way easier for you to eat that shit because it's for free. And my recommendation, what I did, is to have a reason behind it. Is to imagine the 10 out of 10 body, is to imagine the person, your future self, who doesn't eat junk food. So right now, bro, right now, close your eyes, okay? And just imagine the person that you're gonna be in just a few years. Imagine the person that you can be if you're gonna eat healthy, if you're gonna stick to all of your habits, if you're gonna meditate, go to the gym, I don't know, work on your business. Imagine just how happy he is, how he moves, his posture, maybe his girlfriend. Imagine that human, how happy he is, how fulfilled he is. Let's say that he is cooking something, like a breakfast, healthy breakfast. Imagine that guy, imagine his physique, his ripped body. Now tell me, bro, open your eyes. Do you want to become that version of you? Do you want to become that person? If so, then why are you downplaying on yourself by eating all the junk food? When you have a reason behind why you're doing this, you're gonna stick to it and you're gonna do it for way longer. Because when you don't have a clear goal in mind, when you don't want to achieve anything, where you just want to be more healthy, of course that you're gonna fall, of course that you're gonna eat junk food, because you don't have a deeper reason behind it. Yeah, like, why do you want to be healthy? Because you want to achieve that physique, that body language of a person that you just imagined just a minute ago. You don't want to be a loser anymore, right? At least I don't. I don't want to be near that guy I was just 3 years ago. You want that shit, right? So you better have a reason behind it. If you have a reason behind it, it's gonna be way harder for you to fall and to just go into rut and eat all the junk food, because you'll be motivated to stick to it. I want to be the best as soon as possible. You probably also want to go the fast lane and have everything quick. Well, when you eat junk food, when you don't follow your plan, of course that's gonna take you way longer than it should. Step number 3 is to eat as least junk food as possible. Now this is a challenge, okay? This is a challenge I set for you since you watch this far, which by the way I'm grateful for you. And not many people stick around right here. And I think that maybe like 5% of people are still watching this. So I'm grateful for you. I hope at least one person watch this. I hope at least one person watch this far. But the step number 3 is to set a challenge. Set a challenge for yourself that you're gonna eat as least junk food, as minimum junk food as possible. Because guess what? The less you eat it, the less it becomes a part of you. When you don't eat any junk food, you just don't think about it. And after like a few months or like weeks, you don't even want it. Because like for me, I don't want chocolate. I don't feel drawn towards eating junk food. I actually remember this one time. It was like 2 years ago, right? And I just remember that my grandma gave me a bar of chocolate. Now this was like some big bar of chocolate. And bro, I was thinking that like, okay, like I don't want to eat this. But then I just opened YouTube Shorts and, I was scrolling, and 15 minutes later, guess what I found? I found myself eating that bar of chocolate whilst scrolling on YouTube Shorts. And after I realized it, after like 10 or 15 minutes of just scrolling and eating chocolate, just completely overstimulating myself, I made a challenge for myself that I'm never gonna eat junk food again. I'm never gonna eat chocolate ever again. So I just grabbed the chocolate, I threw it into the trash, I got motivated, super motivated to not eat it again. And guess what, bro? I actually didn't. I actually never ate it again. I'm probably the exception, because I heard that a lot of people, when they go through something like this, they just have that chocolate a week later. But for me, no. I set a challenge and I was like, fuck you, bro. I'm never gonna do this again. And I'm a man of my words. So of course that I wanted to stick to it for as long as possible. So I didn't eat any chocolate after that ever again. By the way, I never had chocolate since that point of time, because I made it a challenge. Now, of course, like after that point, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had some cheat meals, because like, you know, we went on this vacation, so I had some pizzas, whatever, which was stupid, honestly. But I never had chocolate because each time I saw it, I reminded myself of that time, of that I was just scrolling and eating chocolate like a loser, even though I wasn't a loser, even though I was on self-improvement and I wanted to become the best version possible. So that's why I never touched on chocolate ever again. It's because I have a deeper purpose behind it, and I wanted to not eat it ever again and to minimize it. Now, of course, that's not gonna happen overnight. Bro, like, even David Goggins, even he didn't stop eating junk food in one day. That's just not gonna happen, I'm sorry. Like, if you wanna quit playing video games, eating junk food, watching porn, that's not gonna happen overnight. And it's gonna take time. For me, it also took me like 4 years to quit social media addiction, to quit scrolling. 4 years. And just now, I'm not scrolling anymore, I'm not addicted anymore. Even though it's on my phone, even though I have Instagram and YouTube on my phone, I just don't use it. Or okay, I use YouTube, but I don't scroll there. I don't scroll like a mindless zombie, because I'm on this dopamine detox. That's a side point. But just understand that this shit is gonna take time, and it's not gonna be easy. Of course it's not gonna be easy. I also remember many times, this was with scrolling, but there were like many times, like 20 times, where it was like 1 a.m. and I was just scrolling. I was scrolling like a zombie on Instagram with poor posture, like, you know, just scrolling and wasting my time for 3 hours. And I remember that there was this one time, like 3 months ago, when I was supposed to study for an exam. And I needed that grade. I needed to get a good grade. But I just wasn't able to focus. I literally remember having the notebook opened in front of me on my desk. But guess what I did? I scrolled for 3 hours on Instagram. Because it was just so difficult, and I knew exactly that it's bad. I knew exactly why it's bad, and that I want to get a good grade, and that I can't waste time because I didn't study for the exam, and it's gonna be tomorrow. Like, I have to study, you know. But I didn't. I scrolled until midnight or 1 a.m. Next day, I woke up at 6, and I don't even know what I got from that exam. But so don't expect to win on day one, because that's not gonna happen. But your goal should be to minimize it. Your goal should be, your challenge should be to avoid it as much as possible. But when you're gonna do it, it's very important. But by the way, this is like the #1 struggle with setting challenges and streaks, that once you do it for hours. Because before that moment, before that scrolling session for 2 hours, I probably didn't scroll for like a week or 2 weeks, because I didn't have Instagram. But the second I installed it, I spent hours on it. And bro, that's the problem. When you have a streak, when you're counting every single day that today I didn't scroll, I didn't eat junk food for 13 days. Great. But the day you eat it, it's not like you would have just 1 bar of chocolate. No. You're gonna have the entire fucking day fucked up, because now we're like, oh, I failed my streak. I'm on day 0 right now. So it doesn't matter, right? I can scroll for however long I want. I can eat as much junk food as I can because I'm not on this streak anymore. Because I'm on day 0. So I might as well enjoy it. But this is the challenge, to eat as least junk food as possible. Is to do as least of the bad habits as possible. When you fall, you want to make that fall as small as possible. So when you go up, then you go a little bit down, but you want to minimize this downfall to then go quickly up. You don't want to stay in that zone where when you're basically in a rut and you're eating so much junk food for a long time. By the way, if you want, I can make a video on getting out of a rut. Okay, but your challenge should be to eat as least junk food as possible. Now, step number 4. By the way, I talked about this in the previous video a little bit, that your mind matters too. When your mental health sucks, when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're traumatized, of course it's gonna be way more difficult for you to stop eating junk food. I remember there were times where I was just eating pastries, pastries. When I was just eating them, not because I would be hungry, but because I just wanted to be comfortable. Because I just wanted to eat something. I wanted to feel that pleasurable feeling. Because I was so stressed from something external that I was like, okay, bro, like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just want to eat. I just want to be comfortable. Well, that's the problem. When you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're traumatized, when you have some limiting beliefs, whatever, of course it's going to be way more difficult for you to quit and to not eat junk food, because the second you'll become stressed, or it's going to become hard, you'll fall. Because your mental health isn't prepared, your mind isn't prepared. So for this, I recommend you to either watch my previous video, or even better, just search some full mental health guide. Trust me, bro, I know it sounds kind of gay to care about your mental health, like what the fuck, but no, bro, it's actually gonna help you. And a lot of the successful people have great mental health. Of course that you're gonna fall, of course that you're gonna quit when your mind is fucked up, when you're not cured from all the shit you went through, when you're not present, when you can't even think properly. Of course that when you don't live the present moment, when you're mindless, when you basically live on autopilot, of course that then you're gonna find yourself eating chocolate, just like as I did when I was scrolling on my phone on YouTube Shorts, because I was mindless. And then as soon as I realized it, I was like, fuck me, bro. But in that moment, like those first 50 minutes, I didn't even realize it because my mental health was so fucked up. Because my mind wasn't clear. And when your mind becomes clear, it's like most of the time you have an opportunity to eat junk food, you'll be like, no, I don't want to eat junk food because of X. Because you have a reason behind it, which is step 2. But step number 4 is to improve your mental health. Because then you're going to be way more mindful of the actions you're taking and of what you're doing. Step number 5, bro. Think of your role model. Think of David Goggins or Andrew Tate or even me. Think of someone who you want to make sure that he doesn't see you as a loser, even though you quite don't know him and you've never seen him. For me, it's, for example, David Goggins. I can't imagine that guy looking at me, my role model, looking at me as I'm eating junk food, because then he would kind of lose respect for me. Now, of course, I've never seen him in my life. He doesn't know me. But when you think of your role model as the top guy you're trying to become, just think of how would he look at you if he saw you, what you're doing, if he saw that you're eating junk food, that you're scrolling, that you're masturbating, or whatever. Think of how he would look at you. Would he be proud or shameful of the actions you're doing and the shit you're eating, the shit you're doing? So make that motherfucker proud, okay? And step number 6 is what I talked about at the beginning of this video, is to build an identity of a person who just doesn't eat junk food. Because right now, following the first 5 steps, it's not gonna be that difficult for you to not eat junk food, to not eat shit. So right now, it's about building an identity of a person who just doesn't eat junk food. And then as you build that and you'll become more like me, you will not struggle with it. You won't struggle with eating sugar, with eating, I don't know, some pastries, some fried McDonald's, whatever, because you're a person who doesn't eat it. Because you're just someone who doesn't do it. For me, it's like smoking cigarettes would be just unimaginable for me. Because I'm a person who doesn't do that. Now that I'm trying to quit it, but I've never done it. And it's just unimaginable for me. Because even if junk food, I haven't had junk food in such a long time that it will be almost unimaginable for me to do it. And that's what you want to achieve. That's what you should aim for. To be a person that not only doesn't eat junk food 80% of the time, but to be a person who doesn't even think of junk food, who doesn't even crave junk food. I don't crave junk food, bro. Like literally, if you put right now some chips right in front of me, right here, I wouldn't touch it. I literally wouldn't touch it. Because it's something I haven't had in such a long time. And it's part of my identity that it would basically defeat a part of me if I just touch that shit. That's gonna stop me from eating it. So a quick conclusion. The best version of you is a person who doesn't buy shit, who doesn't want to eat it, who avoids junk food as much as humanly possible, who has his mind in check, so he has his mental health healthy, he's mindful, and he has maybe a bit of discipline and willpower, even though that's not as significant, but it's gonna help. I won't lie, it's gonna help. Because bro, there were times where, especially at the beginning, where I had to use some willpower to not eat the junk food. So of course, have a bit of willpower and discipline, but don't really worry about this. He also reminds himself of his role model. How would he look at him? Would he be proud? And the last thing, he has an identity of a person who just doesn't do it. So I hope this guide helped you. I spent some time thinking about it and doing this for you. So I hope I helped at least some of you guys, at least one person. That's my goal. That's literally my goal, to help at least one person. By the way, if you want, you can book a free 1-hour call with me. It's literally free. I get experience, you get my knowledge. We can talk about whatever, mental health, I don't know, how to stop eating junk food, whatever you ask for. So just do it, bro. Like, first link in the description, just book a free 1-hour call with me. It's literally free. It's a win-win for both of us. Okay, so take care, man. By the way, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you sticked for like 25 minutes, whatever, however long this video is. I'm grateful for you. Just know that.